Hi everyone and welcome to a new Path of Exile video. Today we are going to talk about the build I'll be using in the upcoming event Atlas Invasion. At the end of the video I will show you two more builds you can use. They are from past events and I think they will perform very well on the Atlas Invasion. This time I wanted to do something new, something I never played, so I went for a summoner build. You're already seeing the gameplay in the background. Is a physical summon skeleton build. I never played it before, so I don't really know how it will perform, but on paper it should be very strong, especially versus bosses. And in the Atlas Invasion we will be fighting 5 bosses for each map, so it has a lot of potential, I think. Also, with super budget gear you are still getting a lot of damage, not counting the Val summon skeleton, which will boost our damage a lot, especially for single target. This build has a lot of upgrade potential. With good uniques and a good convoking wand we can almost double the damage. Besides that, the minion playstyle is very safe. You can focus on the boss mechanics while the minions do DPS, and also we are stacking a lot of health. We don't really need to stack that much minion damage on our gear because there is not really that much, so we can focus on life, resistances and tanky mods. Also, I will show you later in the PoE at level 95 we can potentially reach max block and max spell block. Enough talking, let's jump into the path of building. Let's look at the gear. In the other builds I usually made only a super budget version. Since the events are very short, there is no really point of making endgame gear set. This time this event is different. We will be fighting 5 endgame bosses for each map, so the chances of getting good bases, good uniques are very high. So in this time I also made a good gear set and a set with some good uniques. Let's look at the super budget gear. Profane Wand with minion damage. You can get minion damage by using an Essence of Fear. If you don't find the Essence of Fear, don't worry. Shield, life, res. Helmet, you can craft a +1 minion gems. I have the recipe on the notes, with a life flask of animation plus an helmet plus an alteration orb. And you can get the flask of animation by selling a bone spirit shield plus a life flask plus a transmutation orb. The rest of the gear is just life, res and as much dex as possible. Flasks, we have instant flask, granite, quicksilver, silver and quartz. The jewel, we are using the ghastly eye jewel because it can roll minion modifiers. And try to aim for life and some good minion rolls. Damage, attack speed, stuff like that. Good gear, we have a convoking wand, of course. Try to aim for a +1 all minion skill gems and minions deals increased damage. We can also love to use trigger to trigger flesh offering and desecrate. We have a tower shield, shaper item because it can roll recover 5% of life when you block, and we will be stacking block. We can reach block and spell block cap, so this will be very strong for us. Helmet, try to aim to +3 socketed minion gems, life and res. Body armor, warlord item, +1 int gem, +1 active skill gems. This will be our 6th link. Gloves, just life, res and minions deal 25% increased damage. Stats, life, res, movement speed for the boots, dex, life for the amulet, the usual stuff. Dex, life, minion movement speed for the rings. Belt, Stingent Vice, maximum life. We can get minion have maximum life here, otherwise use it to cap your resistances. And as a Abyssal Jewel we are using of course the Ghastly Eye Jewel. A good jewel here will be with minion damage, a lot of life, and the minion deals increased damage if you used a minion skill recently. Also flat damage is good. Some good uniques for our builds are the Victorious Charity Shield, good stats, and also it gives power and frenzy charges to our allies. Move of Mischief, minions are aggressive, also good stats. Alberon's Warpath, good stats, +1 maximum number of skeletons, very good, and of course Rumi's concoction. Let's look at the passive tree. The tree is very similar to the other minion builds. We start by getting here some damage, health, this minion node here, and we take increased effect of offering, health here, health here. Then we move level 35 normal lab. For the first lab we are taking Commander of Darkness, and then we move up here to get Death Attunement, and then we take the mana reservation efficiency and some life. Here we take flat life, and here of course mana reservation efficiency. Level 55 Cruel Lab, we are taking Mindless Aggression, and then we take the big minion node here. We are taking those big nodes and this minion damage node. Here we are taking Overwhelm with physical damage reduction, since we are playing skeletons mostly and zombies for leveling, they are doing physical damage. Then we take a socket here, some life here, we are taking increased maximum life here. And then from here we move down to get these nodes. Level 70, Merciless, we are taking Unnatural Strength. We are taking a socket here, we are taking the minion node here, and we take increased crit strike chance. If you have mana problem, you can take this node here. Then we take life here, and life here, and another socket here. Level 80, Uberlab, we are taking Mistress of Sacrifice last, and at this point we already took all the damage nodes for our minions, so we can take some life for ourselves here, and some nodes for the minion survivability here. At this point you can either move towards the max block version, which is this one, and we are taking a couple of nodes here for the spell block, nodes here for the spell block. We are taking the Glancing Blow, of course, and the block here, and also Shield Mastery, chance to block per 5 chance to block on equipped shield, and also here spell block with life gained when you block, life and mana gained when you block. In this way we can reach the block chance and spell block chance cap. If you don't want to go for the max block version, you can take whatever you need. You can take more life, you can take more mana, you can take some chaos resistance node, and you can either go for more sockets eventually. Let's look at the leveling skill. First, we start at level 1 with Freezing Pulse and Arcane Surge. At level 4 we can start using Holy Flame Totem with Infused Channeling and eventually Summon Phantasm. This is not mandatory, if you want you can skip it. Frostblink for movement and eventually Flame Wall. You are gonna place the Flame Wall in front of the Holy Flame Totem, so the projectile from the Holy Flame Totem get the bonus from the Flame Wall. We are using at level 8 Summon Raging Spirit with minion damage and Infernal Legion, and we can drop Freezing Pulse here. And we can use Summon Raging Spirit as a main spell and Holy Flame Totem to boost our damage on bosses. Level 10, we can use Flame Dash or eventually Smoke Mine if you prefer it. At level 12 we get Flesh Offering, and try to use Flesh Offering especially for rares and bosses whenever you can. At level 16 we get Summon Skitterbox and Desecrate. At level 18 we can switch to a full minion build, so we can drop the Holy Flame Totem and the Summon Raging Spirit, and we can use Summon Skeleton with minion damage, minion speed, Raised Zombies with minion damage, minion speed, Skitterbot with Infernal Legion. You can drop Infernal Legion if you're starving of sockets. Precision, keep it low level according to your mana pool. We are using Flesh Offering with Desecrate, Flame Dash as a movement spell, and Vitality, keep it low level according to your mana. At level 24 we can start using Convocation. Convocation summons the minions around you and give them some life regen. very useful for leveling. We will be dropping it in the endgame setup. Level 24 skeletons, we get melee physical damage, so we can use summon skeletons and raise zombies with the melee physical damage on a 4-link setup. At level 34 we can start using raise spectre. You can actually get specters at level 28, but I suggest you to wait after the first labyrinth, because they are very squishy, and with the first lab we are getting you and nearby allies have plus 30 to elemental resistance, which is very useful to let them survive better. And we are linking it with minion life and summon carrion golem. At level 38 we get multi-strike, so we can use skeletons and zombie with multi-strike instead of melee physical damage. And we can go on with this setup, and we can play this setup even on maps. Our main skill will be summon skeleton, so we will be using summon skeleton on a 5-link and eventually on a 6-link. Summon skeleton is with minion damage, multi-strike, predator and minion speed. Raise zombie with minion damage, minion speed, multi-strike. Spectre and golems are sharing a 4-link, and they are with mid shield and minion life. We are using Dread Banner, Pride, Summon Skitterbots as auras, and Poacher's Mark as a course. We are using Flesh Offering, Desecrate, Flame Dash on a 3-link or 3-socket. And we have a cast 1 damage taken setup with Immortal Call and increased duration. As always, cast 1 damage taken level 4, Immortal Call level 6. I've called this pre-map setup because eventually we are going to remove Raised Zombie and use a dedicated 4-link for Spectres and for the Carrion Golem. And you can see this in the endgame setup. The endgame setup is Skeletons, 6-link, Summon Skeleton, Predator, Multi-Strike, Minion Damage, Impale, Brutality. 4-link Spectre, Raise Spectre, Minion Life, Feeding Frenzy, Flame Dash. If your Spectre is dying, you can use Mid Shield for more tankiness. Golem with Maim, Feeding Frenzy and Poacher's Mark as a course. Aura, Dread Banner with Generosity to boost the Dread Banner effect. Summon Skitterbots, Pride. We are using Flesh Offering, Desecrate with increased duration on a trigger wound. And the cast 1 damage taken setup with Immortal Call, increased duration. And just to give you some numbers, right now at level 80 with the level 83 with the super budget gear and all the skill, Summon Skeleton level 21, the rest is level 20, so nothing really fancy. Our skeleton are hitting for 200k damage, and with 10 skeletons down we are doing around 2 million DPS, which is huge, insane. We have around 5k life, which is a lot. We don't have that much armor, we don't have evasion, and at this point we have a low amount of block chance, but since this is a minion build it should be fine. You are focusing on avoiding the boss mechanics, so it should be fine. Eventually you can drop some life damage. You can drop for example this minion defense node and start getting block, glancing blow and the block nodes earlier. And that's it for the Summon Skeleton build. Let me quickly talk about the other 2 builds I think will perform well in the Atlas invasion. One is of course the Exsanguinate Seismic Saboteur. I've prepared a build for the Gauntlet, so I'll leave a link in the description. You can check the video, you can check the POV. Essentially this is a bosser build. Saboteur is a well-known bosser. Seismic Trap is doing a lot of damage. Also it has a bigger area, so if you manage to find more bosses together, you can actually fight them with Seismic Trap very well. You are also super tanky. You have around 5k life with super basic gear. You have a lot of evasion, you have a lot of armor, you're using grace, determination, so very tanky build, very strong build. The other build is my cold.occultist, especially the Gauntlet version I made because it can reach block and spell block cap at around level 60 with Aromatic Concoction. You can check the video, I'm gonna leave a link in the description. Essentially the cold dot playstyle is very strong against bosses because you are applying the dots and then you can focus on avoiding mechanics. Also, since we have max block, it's very tanky. You have a lot of regen. Very good build. I league started with this build. I can confirm he's very strong against bosses. Okay, I'm gonna give you another bonus build. It's a Storm Rain Ballista. Essentially is a lightning arrow build, but instead of barrage we are using Storm Rain Ballista for the shotgun potential on bosses. The Storm Rain Ballista will be with the focused ballistas, so while we are fighting the bosses we are dropping down 4 ballistas, and every time we fire a lightning arrow the 4 ballistas will drop Storm Rain, which will shotgun the bosses. The idea is this one. The lightning arrow Deadeye is well known for the low boss damage it has. In the league I'm making a version of this build with the Eternity Shroud, which is a Uber Elder body armor, and it's a shipper item, and it says gain up to 5% of elemental damage as extra chaos damage per shipper item equipped, and we are using the Voltaxic Rift as a bow, which converts the lightning damage to chaos damage, and we are using some conversion like the usual lightning arrow with some cold conversion on 3. So basically, for how the conversion works right now, we are getting a lot of extra chaos damage. With these items I know it works very well. Without those items I don't really know if it has enough single target damage. You are seeing a clip right now. I tried to play it with a level 70 rider with super bad gear, extremely bad gear, and it seems the damage is here. Try it at your own risk. I didn't feel like to try it because I already played Lightning Arrow with my Magic Find build, with my 5-way carry build, and I'm also making the Lightning Arrow Storm Raid version with the Eternity Shroud, so I wanted to play something different, and I went for the Summon Skeleton builds. And that's it for the video. If you have any question, please feel free to leave a comment down below. I will do my best to reply as fast as possible. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you want more content like this, and thank you very much for watching. Stay safe, Exile.